Hello and welcome again to my channel English is Easy. I hope that all of you are doing very good, and what I have shown you in my previous videos, I hope that you have learned it well and you have practiced it well. So today what I am going to show you is what are the types of clause and how they are being used in a sentence. So you have to go through them and you have to learn them well. In my previous video I have shown you what are the types of phrase and how they are being used in a sentence. So now today's topic is what are the types of clause and how they are being used in a sentence. So the topic will be clause and its kinds. So what we have learned earlier, that what is a clause? It is a group of words and it has a subject and a verb. It shows a complete action. The subject action is implied and the sentence gives you a complete meaning or a sense. But there are some types of clause which are also very meaningful, and we have to know them and how they are being used in a sentence and how they used to do their purpose or to solve their own function. So we have to know them. If we make a chart, suppose within a clause there are two main things. We have to know them. First of all, that is an independent clause, and one is dependent or subordinating clause. So these are the two things. So independent clause, it is something which can be meaningful even if it sits alone. So whenever a sentence gives you a complete meaning of its own, then it can be called as a independent clause. Suppose I like her, she is a beautiful girl. So these are what they are independent clause. Sometimes these independent clause are joined together by using a coordinating conjunction. So therefore, for example, if I say there can be two independent clause. First of all, they can sit alone and make complete meaning. So this we have to remember, because independent clause is something which can sit alone and can make a complete sense. But whereas a dependent clause cannot make a sense. In dependent clause we have to know there are three different things. Dependent clause has three different things. What are they? Number one, that is adjective clause. Number two, that is adverb clause. And the number three is noun clause. So these are the three things which relies on the dependent clause. And independent clause can sit alone. But a dependent clause, they need help. They need the help of a subordinating conjunction. They need the help of a subordinating conjunction. But these independent clause, they never need any help. But they can join one plus one, both of the independent sentence or clause into one by using what? By using coordinating conjunction. So now we have to know what are these coordinating conjunctions. There is a very simple rule by which you can understand what is a coordinating conjunction. If I write, suppose fanboys. So what are these each letter symbolize? So we have to know this. Fanboys represents A for, A for and, N for nor, B for but, O for or, Y for yet and S for so. So these are the examples of fanboys. So these are the coordinating conjunctions we can remember by remembering this simple word. I will write it down in a fresh way. So you can remember the coordinating conjunctions by remembering this word, fanboys, because it gives you what are the coordinating conjunctions, which are the coordinating conjunctions, for, and, nor, but, or, yet, so. So these are the coordinating conjunctions which are going to be used while joining two independent sentences. And what is an independent sentence? A sentence that gives you a complete meaning. So therefore, I am coming back to what are the independent sentences, how they are going to be joined together. So let us get to the point what actually the fanboys represents. So fanboys, F represents for, A represents and, N for nor, B for but, O for or, Y for yet and S for so. So you have to remember these 7 words. These are the conjunctions. You have to remember these and they represent our coordinating conjunctions. So you have to remember these things. This will be very helpful for you because whenever you have to join something with coordinating some conjunctions, these 7 words are going to be used. So if you remember this word, then it will help you a lot. So as simple as that. Now what is an independent sentence and how I am going to join the sentence into a complete sentence by using two independent sentences using this coordinating conjunctions. Suppose, for example, sentence number 1, she is a beautiful girl. Sentence number 2, I like her. So as I can see, if you question the sentence, you are going to get subject and the action or the object, anything. If you question the sentence, you are going to get who is a beautiful girl, she, and what she is a beautiful girl. In the next sentence, who is liked, whom I like, I, and what I like, her. So you are getting both the answers when you are getting both the subject and the verb and the sentence is giving you a complete meaning, then it is called a independent sentence. Now the thing, how I am going to join both these sentences. Simply, she is a beautiful girl and I like her. So here I am joining the sentence by using and. See this? So by this way the sentences are going to be joined, and it is very simple that two complete sentence both are independent sentence. Both of these sentences are independent. Because these sentences can explain their meaning by sitting alone. Therefore they are independent. So both the sentences are being joined by using a coordinating conjunction. So it's a very simple thing. You have to remember this thing. Suppose another sentence, I want to buy a car. I do not have money. To buy the car. So these are the two sentences. Both are giving you complete meaning. I want to buy a car. What I want to buy? A car. And who want to buy a car? I. So you are getting the subject and the object and the verb, which gives you complete sense. In the second sentence, I do not have enough money to buy a car. Who do not have enough money? I. And what I don't have? That is enough money to buy a car. So these are the two complete sentences. When I am going to join this sentence, what I am going to do? I will use the conjunction but. And wow, I will write I want to buy a car, but I don't have enough money. So by this way our sentence will be formed, and by using the coordinating conjunction I can make the sentence join together, giving it a perfect meaning. So this is the independent clause, and how both the independent clause or independent sentence is being joined by a coordinating conjunctions. These are the example. Remember these things. Most important thing is this one. Remember these things, and how I have joined those sentences. Also remember that thing. Write it down and memorize it well, and it will help you a lot in solving your exercises. So now let's go to the dependent clause. Those three things: the adjective clause, adverb clause, and the noun clause. So let's see what they does to our sentences. Now what I am going to show you, that is dependent clause and the three different clauses used. Number 1, adjective clause. Number 2, noun clause. Number 3, adverb clause. You have to remember something. Adjective clause, which things, subordinating conjunctions which they are using whom, who, whose, which, that. They can also be called a relative pronoun. These things also be called relative pronoun. They are also called relative pronoun. An adjective clause will always start or always have a relative pronoun while joining the sentences. You have to remember that thing. Next, noun clause. Noun clause also acts as a noun. It gives the meaning of a noun, and it uses while joining sentence what, who, where, when, why, which, whom. An adverb clause uses when, where, why. These are also called relative adverb. So you have to remember these things. Note them down. It will help you. So first of all, what are the functions of them and how dependent clause is used in a sentence? Dependent clause cannot alone give a meaning. It needs another independent clause to give its full meaning, and for that reason it uses subordinating conjunctions. Those are the subordinating conjunctions. Except them, there are if, because, whereas, since, while. All these things, these are also subordinating conjunctions, and they are going to use them in their sentence so that they could make the sentence more meaningful. Otherwise the sentence will have no meaning. Suppose for a sentence, when I was meeting my friend, I had an accident. So in this sentence, as you can see, this is a subordinating conjunctions, or this is a now adverb clause which is being used here, and then the sentence can be made meaningful. I was meeting my friend, I had an accident. But if we write the sentence like this, then the sentence cannot give you a complete meaning. But where I have written it like this, when I was meeting my friend at that particular time, when I was meeting my friend, I had an accident. Now the sentence is giving you a complete sense. Suppose, for one more example like this, I know that he cannot do it. That means this that, which is an adjective clause, is joining the sentence and making it a complete and giving it a complete meaning. So therefore we have to remember these things. These things, they are joining the sentence by using this adjective clause or noun clause or an adverb clause, and these subordinating clauses are being used in the sentence, which sentence cannot give meaning while sitting by itself alone. They are using them to join the sentence and then they can give a complete meaning. So these are examples. These examples you have to remember them, because whenever the question will come, you have to use them, or you have to pick out the clause, you have to write their name, whatever it is, whichever question does come in the exam, you have to do the things like this way. Example of an adjective clause. If I give you an example of adjective clause, for an adjective clause, what I am going to write, I will be using a relative pronoun or a relative adverb, and after that I will make a complete sentence. Suppose, for example, the boy who was tall laughed at him. So as you can see, I have used an adjective clause, and after that the sentence can give a complete meaning. So you have to remember this thing. For example of adjective clause, the boy who was tall laughed at him. If you do not use this thing, the sentence cannot be correct. So you have to remember this. Suppose for another example, the book which had red cover was on the table. That means the book which had a red cover was on the table. It signifies that particular thing which had a particular cover. So it is on the table. It was on the table. So you have to remember these things. These are the examples, and these examples will be showing you how the adjective clause is being used in a sentence. Now we are going to give you an example of noun clause. I am going to use these things, and after that I am going to make the sentence correct or make the sentence meaningful. So if I write like this, do you know what dress to wear? So here, as I can see, what dress to wear, this is being used, and the what is giving its a meaning. Therefore, now the sentence has got a complete sense or complete meaning. For example, I believe what I hear. That means I believe what I hear. What I am hearing, I believe that. So here also this is being used, and this giving you a complete sense. So you have to remember these things. These are the examples of noun clause, and see, I am using those conjunctions and those relative pronoun or relative adverb, and after that I am making the sentence, giving the sentence a complete meaning. So you have to remember these things, and these will help you in your exam. Now about adverb clause. Adverb clause does not give its own meaning. It needs another independent clause, or you can say it is dependent on an independent clause, and after that it can only give you a meaning. So how the examples show you how they are going to work in our English sentences. So let's see how the adverb clause is being used in our sentence. Example of adverb clause: if I write the old man walked slowly. So that what is signifying? This is signifying that the action of the old man. That means the old man is walking very slowly or slowly, which gives you a meaning. So therefore, you have to remember these things while you are trying to solve them. For next example, for another example like this, Tina went through the book in a lightning speed. So therefore, in a lightning speed, which showing you another quality of her going through the book. So Tina went through the book in a lightning speed. This is also showing you an adverb clause and giving you a complete sense or meaning. So you have to remember these things while you are doing your sentences, because these things will come in your exams, and by going through these things and practices these things, you are going to solve your questions very easily, and it will really help you. So what you have to remember: what is the coordinating conjunctions, how they are being used, and what are the coordinating conjunctions. After that, you have to remember what are the dependent clause. Three things are dependent clause: adjective clause, adverb clause, and the noun clause. What are their purpose and how they are going to be used, and which things are being used while doing them. So this will help you, and I hope that you have understood this thing. If you have any kind of queries, please comment, and also please do like and share my video if you have liked at least to this point, and also subscribe my channel to have more and more videos like this. And I hope that you will do these things, and I wish you all the best and a very nice day to each and every one. So please do the things, do like my video and subscribe it. Have a very great day.